Ok, idemo na zadnji dio službenog programa. Dakle, ostala su nam još 4 tima iz Nuqleusa i nakon toga naši gosti iz Splita i Varaždina. Dakle, prvi tim nam je Cyclops. Evo, izvoli Petra.
Hi, my name is Petar, and today I will talk about Cyclops, a tool for deploying software. So, before I get into what Cyclops actually is, I'm going to talk about applications that all of you have on your phones. So, if you take Uber, for example, even though it seems as a single application, it's actually 2,000 smaller applications working together so you can order a ride. How do you actually manage all of those applications? How do you work on them? How do you deploy them? Well, this is something a tool called Kubernetes has already solved. So even though it solved a lot of issues, it still left some room for complexity, and all of the Kubernetes applications are defined through such complex configuration files. In a system with a couple of thousand of these, you can easily make mistakes, and this is where Cyclops actually comes in. Cyclops abstracts this complicated configuration under a simple and structured UI, where your developers can deploy their applications in just a couple of clicks, which makes them faster and more efficient. So our target market is actually the Kubernetes market, which is, by the last year's survey, 76,000 organizations using it in production, and 5.6 million developers using it on a daily basis. Also, valuation last year for the Kubernetes market was $2 billion, while the approximation for 2030 is $8 billion. Our business model is a so-called managed solution, where we would run Cyclops on our own infrastructure and would just provide the functionality to our clients, which is a common thing in the open source world. So Grafana, a company today worth $3 billion, uses exactly that business model. So if we compare Cyclops to other solutions, Cyclops is simpler to developers. Cyclops gives you feedback on your cluster state. It's used both for generating configuration and actually deploying it. It is the only link between Kubernetes and developers, and it gives developers a UI which is, again, much simpler for them to use. Okay, so currently we are going through a couple of startup competitions, and by the end of this year we are going to have an alpha testing, and we hope that next year we're going to have Cyclops actually running in production. Currently in the team there are 2 software engineers, Jure Karaj and myself, and for the first phase of development we are looking for an investment of 260,000 euros for the expenses of salaries for the current team and the expansion of it, and the cost of the cloud infrastructure for our managed solution. This is it. Thank you all for your attention, and feel free to ask any questions.